An impulsive kiss and a fake relationship. What could possibly go wrong?
When Will pulls Layla over for speeding yet again, the last thing he expects her to do is kiss him. And he certainly didn't expect the fireworks that exploded when her lips met his. Can he keep his heart in check around his old crush?
Layla is determined to get her matchmaking mom off her back. So when her mom witnesses her getting pulled over, she makes the impulsive decision to kiss the chief of police of their small town and tell her mom she's engaged to him. It's all fun and games until her heart decides to get involved.
Chapter 1. A cherry red Corvette zoomed past, leaving a flutter of orange leaves behind. Will Vance, the police chief of Maple Creek, Virginia, pulled out behind the speeding vehicle and flipped on his lights. Layla Bowen. Again. When was she going to learn to lighten her lead foot? The girl drove him nuts. She never seemed to take him seriously, and for some inexplicable reason, he kept going easy on her. Okay, maybe it wasn't completely inexplicable. It might have had something to do with her adorable dimples and her carefree manner. But that didn't mean she hadn't collected a hefty pile of tickets since she'd started driving her granny's Corvette 6 months ago. Anna Bowen was too old to get behind the wheel anymore, and she made the mistake of letting her granddaughter drive her prized Corvette whenever the impulsive girl wanted. Layla should have had her license revoked by now, but he gave her chance after chance. Blast those dimples. They got the best of him every time, making him weak at the knees, putty in her hands. But not this time. This time, he meant business. He caught up to her right in front of the Maple Creek Baptist Church. She pulled over to the side of the road as church members streamed into the sanctuary for the Sunday morning service. Layla stepped out of the Corvette in a floral dress that swayed with her hips in a sassy manner that matched her personality. She wore a straw hat over her shiny brown ringlets and a pair of aviator sunglasses. She looked so good, it should have been illegal. He knew he should tell her to return to her vehicle, but he was so taken by her Sunday morning attire that he clamped his mouth shut. Normally, he was a good cop, an excellent cop. How else would he have become the police chief? But this woman had him whipped, and she knew it. She was his one weakness as an officer. It had started in 7th grade when he'd kissed her in the downstairs closet of her best friend Onyx's family room. They'd been playing 7 Minutes in Heaven, and he'd ended up with her. The kiss was unforgettable. It was his first kiss, and it had left him following her around for the next week. Eventually, she rejected him for some kid on the soccer team. It should have been ancient history, but he'd never really gotten over it. She pulled down the aviators and turned toward the church, stopping mid-stride, her glossy lips parting. Layla's mother and Mrs. Wheaton, the town gossip, were walking toward the entrance of the church. They stopped and turned to look at Will, and Mrs. Bowen's smile turned downward into a scowl. Layla stared at the two of them, and her face went pale. She looked at Will, and then she looked back at the women, panic written all over her features. She stepped toward him impulsively, and before he could even process what was happening, she threw her arms around his neck and pressed her lips to his. They were perfect and warm, and tasted like honey. For a moment, all he knew was their kiss. Fireworks exploded in his head, and he wrapped his arms around her tiny waist, drawing her into him. How long had he wondered what another kiss with Layla would be like? The first one had curled his toes, and this one was no different.